But Kevin covers Shuli. And therefore, Kevin must be a bigger loser by Kevin's own mathematical formula, right? Second thing people were saying that Kevin was down to 600 and something viewers today. We got it. No, I'm not saying that. Don't yell at me.
Hello?
Yeah.
That's not what I said.
Okay, I just didn't want to yell at me. I'm not the one who came up with that.
Okay, first of all, that's bad geometry. What the guy with Chris Bueller was using. I never said that.
Oh, okay.
And even if I did, I didn't mean it. What I meant was, Shuli always is never the draw on any. He has to use somebody else. He had to, when he did tours, he had to use producers and limo drivers and fucking Jeremy and Sal, whoever the fuck their names are. And now he's using Stuttering John. Shuli can't just do a thing. He always has to suck off of somebody else, suck the teat off of somebody else, because nobody cares about Shuli. That's a fact. So it's like, why did nobody care about Shuli by himself? Now he's watching Stuttering John. People care because Shuli is never a draw. Chris, what was it? What? Let me get my book out. Are you taking another call?
No, but what
are you going to go to commercial?
No, but
Richard and Sal. He had to use Richard and Sal to sell tickets. He had to use an engineer and a limo driver to sell tickets. Now he's got to use Stuttering John to get people to watch a show. He can never just do anything where people just give a shit about Shuli. And now that I'm watching more fucking clips about Shuli and how he was so hated by everybody at the show, I'm starting to now I'm doing my own math and I'm starting to get it. Like, everybody disliked this guy. So he had to use limo drivers and engineers to sell tickets, and now he has to use Stuttering John to get people to watch a shitty show. Nobody cares. The show that he does in the morning, that hack, pack, whack, jack off show, nobody cares about that. They only care when he's watching Stuttering John. Nobody cares about Shuli. That's my point. That's my final point.
Yeah. And do you think he buys views for every, like, what would he get out of buying views for every show? Could it be that there's just that many idiot Stuttering John haters that just tune into everything?
I no longer care about that. After I saw this clip, I'm like, it all makes sense. Baba Booey, who everybody knows, he's the top producer then, he's the top producer now, and he's on camera. Whether you like him or not, he's gigantic in the Howard Stern world. And he hated Shuli. Hated him.
Why?
So there you go. So when Shuli left, he brought nobody with him. He brings nobody with him anywhere.
Why did Baba Booey hate Shuli?
I don't have time. I'm not going to do my show again. So the point is that he did. So when Shuli left, he had no fans. Nobody went with him. His Patreon was a joke. His views were horrible, and now he's like, "Oh, people care about Stuttering John, so I'll suck off of that. That's the only way he can do anything." When I saw he was getting a limo driver and an engineer, they were more popular than him, and he was supposedly a professional entertainer. It's fucking insane. So he has no fans. So he's like, he realized he has no fans. And he's like, I'm never the draw. Shuli's never the draw. So he's like, oh, Stuttering John's a draw. So I'll jump on that bandwagon. It's fucking pathetic. But anyway, spin it whatever way you want. Hi, Canoe.
Oh, boy. Like, that's just how it worked. It's just the reality of it. Like, they needed, like Florentine and Shuli and like some real stand-ups to like do time. But they couldn't really sell tickets, so they would get like Beetlejuice, and those guys would like move tickets. But Beetlejuice and those guys like couldn't put on a show, so like they needed the comics. Like, I don't know. Somebody was saying that Kevin Brennan's Patreon is down and keeps going down. No, Kevin's calling back. Hello.
Yeah, my Patreon is not down, and my YouTube is up. My Patreon is basically a little bit up, and it's not down. So if you put your fucking money where your mouth is, stop talking shit, you're worse than Joey C. You're just making up shit. My Patreon is up 70% from when Bob left. Thank you, and not because of this, and not because I'm not paying Bob. My straight up numbers that I get is up 70% since Bob left. If you have any problem, put your fucking money where your mouth is.
I didn't say it was down.
No, you're saying it right now. Bet me, and I'll send it to you, and then you can send me the money you owe me, or just give it to me in Atlantic City. And if you think my Patreon is down, I'll show it to you, motherfucker, and then you can pay me for that, too. Go fuck yourself.
What's it like getting mad at made-up shit? You know what I mean? Like, Kevin, look at the chat. Look at the chat and decide who's crazy. You or me. Fight more ghosts, old man. All right, I'm on his Patreon. Misery loves company, and he doesn't put his numbers up. So Kevin hit his Patreon numbers. No? No. Oh boy. KB has become the shuliest guy in the verse. He's obsessed with other people's money. You need to do your own thing, Onion, and not let him ruin NLO like he did MLC with his money obsession. Strong allegations. I think Shuli's calling in. Kevin's calling in. Hello?
Yeah, so are you playing like a game like my phone says this, my phone says that? Why don't you just ask me, why don't you bet me that like I said, my Patreon is where it's always been. I don't put my Patreon numbers out there because I'm not 7, okay? It doesn't matter what my numbers are because I can't pay my rent with Patreon numbers. So it matters how much my Patreon totals, just like it matters how much my YouTube totals. It doesn't matter what you think it is. It matters what it is. So if you want to bet me, and you'll lose.
What am I betting?
My Patreon is not down. It's up, if anything, and my YouTube numbers are way up. And bet me if you doubt it, and you'll lose. And then you can bring me the money to Atlantic City. You can pay me in gold bars, however they do. They have funny money there. You can pay me that way, like a strip club. There's all we can do it. We can just buy me chips.
No,
we're gonna have fun.
Yeah, well, wait till you bust out at the table again, and you can't get any money out of the ATM.
Yeah, then you can give me money for what the money you owe me. But I'll bet you any amount of money. I mean, you're like the chat's saying. Yeah, the chat's saying you're a fucking idiot. You're a tool for the chat because you can't handle the truth, like Joey C.